So I looked up at the date today, and I noticed that it was the 28th, and I really wanted to have a video out each month, and it's the 28th. So I decided that I guess the only thing that could be done is to make the laziest and quickest form of content available. And surprisingly, no one had really tackled this topic before. But today, on Cal's Corner, I'm your host, Cal. This is the corner. It's right there. Can't you see it? That's the corner I've been talking about this whole time. Every episode where I'm like, I'll see you around the corner, I just walk right there. Just do a little turn. That's it. Today, we are going to be making a tier list, and it's not just any tier list. It is the Killer Instinct character theme tier list. So I'm actually going to open up Spoofy, and I'm gonna be listening to these live. After each one, we'll go and we'll rank them. So this might take a while for me, and hopefully it won't take too long for you. Also, this is my first time using like a webcam for this kind of thing. So if you guys like that, let me know. It's kind of fun, and I'm a cute guy, so you know. Anyways, we're gonna get on to the first song. Also the ranks. We're doing themed stuff. No S tier, A tier, whatever. It is basic,
solid, extreme, killer, godlike, ultra.
So there you go. Of course, I had to use the combos, to rank these. But it works the same. Ultra is your S tier, godlike A tier, killer B tier, extreme is C tier, solid is D tier, and basic would be like F. But obviously, most of the music in this game is fucking incredible. I imagine, I don't even know if I'll be using solid tier at all, or basic tier. But this is mostly for fun. So first up is Shatter Hail. So this is Glacius theme. Okay, so now I can talk about this. All right, so we're going to be listening to all the themes. We're going to organize them appropriately. The things I'm going to be rating here that are going to affect my scores, of course, like how good is the song in a vacuum, not thinking about the game at all. How good is the song in relation to the character? Does it fit the character? Does it have an appropriate theme? If the instinct is in the song, like the main theme, because some of these songs in Season 2 and Season 3 actually incorporate the instinct in main parts of them. If it incorporates the instinct, how good is the instinct? Because some songs have really bad renditions of the instinct, and it makes me like not want to listen to them again. I guess there's just 3. I was gonna say a 4th one, but I guess there's just 3. That's it, I guess. All right, first song up. Let's go. Okay, so let's talk about it. That was Glacius' theme.
Glacius
is like a crazy ice alien, super futuristic, all craziness. The song emulates that like futurism so well. It's just so like cyberpunky, I guess. It's hard to describe, but it nails the tone of like, I am a crazy freaking alien from another dimension. You don't understand what I'm capable of. You don't understand that kind of thing. First let's talk about it. Outside of Vacuum, it's a dope song. It's got so much little stuff going on in the background, so many little noises and bleeps and bloops going on. It's a dope song. As for how it relates to Glacius, it amplifies that he's a big, creepy, futuristic alien. He's otherworldly. He's not of this realm. And amplifies that. It doesn't really feel icy to me, though. Like, one of Glacius' big things is that he's icy. He controls ice. And I'm not so sure. There are portions of it that feel kind of cold, I guess. But not... It doesn't really... There are definitely portions of it that I think feel icy and kind of add to it. But it's not as ham in there as the futuristic side of things, It goes out of its way to be like, I'm a crazy alien from the future. It doesn't really go out of its way to be like, oh, I control ice. Does that make sense? But it's a dope song. I really love it. There's no instinct in that song to talk about. The song has some cool peaks that make me smile, but it doesn't really like make me want to go out and fucking punch people. And like it does a great job of like portraying the character, giving the character personality. Because obviously Glacius doesn't talk. Glacius doesn't have a Mortal Kombat intro where he's like, oh, Chief Thunder, you and I, we've been rivals for 35 years. No, he just He's just a creepy alien with his big flubby gill neck, you know? Glacius, I think, goes in Killer. So once again, the rankings, Ultra is like literally the best. It is the best songs in the game. So there's like, I could only put maybe one here, maybe two songs go in Ultra. Godlike is like S tier. Like, I would listen to this song every day. Glacius, I feel like I kind of have to be in the mood for this song, but it fits the character so well. It really does nail the tone. But it's not my, like, if I'm fighting someone, it's not the song I pick every time, you know? So on that side of things, not so crazy, but on this side. So I feel like this Killer, kind of like an A rank, that's good for it. Glacius goes in Killer.
Jago.
Obviously, he's a trained monk. He's the Ryu. He's the hero in a sense, you know? He's practiced and he's trained and he's toned, and so he's always been like a baseline character. Like, he's designed in a sense of like, oh, I'm gonna be this middle ground character. You know, I'm gonna be the starter character. That's why he's the first person you hover over when you lock into the screen. Just in the same way they do it in Mortal Kombat. The second you load up this game, you're hovering over Scorpion. He's the baseline character. So, with Jago being the baseline character, it's kind of fitting that he gets a baseline theme. Like, there are some exciting parts, there's some cool parts. The chanting is so cool to listen to. It feels awesome. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't really get too exciting, and it almost drags a little bit towards the middle. And it also kind of replicates it's like, you know, and there are parts in Glacius theme where it cuts back to the same concept, like the same, almost like a chorus, but it throws in a little bit of flair. You know, it tries to spice it up. You're not going through the same exact hallway every single time. There's new things each time you revisit it, and Jago's theme doesn't do that as well, I don't think. There's also the perspective of, you know, Shadow Jago's theme, which does kind of just completely destroy Jago's theme to me. Like, it's so godlike, high tier. Like, this song, even if I thought it was high tier before, that song makes me, it's like up here. So it makes you kind of feel a little lower on it, you know? I don't think it's a bad song. I just think it lags a little bit. So I think a good spot for Jago's theme would be Extreme. It's good. It's a good, like, baseline, middle of the pack song, I think. It doesn't really blow me away. I wish it did, but of course there is a version of it that does. So, you know, it is what it is, but so that was the first one that just, like, blew by. Like, holy crap. Like, all of a sudden 5 minutes of my life are gone. Just like that. That song is... That was the song where you're like, oh, this is from the guy that made Doom, right? You know? Like, listen to Fulgore's theme, you're like, oh my god. I feel like this is the song that really spiraled that into creation. That whole Doom 2016 Doom Eternal soundtrack that's just incredible. That's the first song that makes me feel like, oh, no wonder this guy ended up making that. You know, Mick Gordon did absolutely fantastic. Fulgore is a heavy metal bruiser, and this song is so industrial. It just feels like, it makes me think of like a big factory workshop just stamping together these giant killer robots, and they're gonna destroy the world. And it's like, it's metal. Like, it is industrial heavy metal, and it's so good. It is so good. It fits the character to a T. It really goes all the way in on that intimidation that this is a tank. It is a tank with a ponytail, and it's gonna beat someone. Like, and that, I would say that's probably the first song that made me like, oh my god, this is a fighting game. Like Jago's theme is definitely, I mean, both those themes are definitely like, oh yeah, I could beat people up to this. But that's the first song where I'm like, this is a fighting game, you know? So Fulgore's is godlike. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. It is godlike. Completely puts the character down to a T and just puts it in musical form, and it's awesome. It is fantastic. Absolutely, absolutely godlike. Okay, so I think if you're looking for the most fitting theme, the one that just nails the character the absolute best, look no further than Spinal's theme. Holy crap. Like, the laughing, the bony, xylophones, like, everything just feels like this is the character, and it's like, his ghost ship, it's like his pirate pals are the ones singing Spy, Null, Rise. That, it's so, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. And that, like, the ending sequence, there's like the false sense of security, like reminding you, oh, it's a spooky ghost ship with a spooky bone man. Ooh, like it just goes so far in. I don't think there's any question in my mind that this is a godlike one. Like, it's just like it doesn't even need to be said that this is godlike. It fits the character so well. Like I said, I don't think there's a single theme. Like, I'm looking at these characters and I really don't know if there's a single one that fits the character better. And it's a dope song. It moves. It has a sick chorus with the Spinal Rise. It has a little bit of a slow moment there. I mean, it is a 6-minute long song. It does have a little bit of a slow moment, like kind of in the middle when everything slows down because it's supposed to be like spooky. It didn't blow by quite as quickly as Full Gore's, but it's still like so good. It's just so good. Yeah, I mean, it's godlike. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's look at like the pros of this song. It's got some dope sound effects in there. The sound of the chains like rattling, or the locks on doors, or like it feels very like I was playing A Plague's Tale Innocence like a couple months ago. That song would have fit so perfectly in the game, and it would have been better than every song in the game. However, it is 9 minutes long, and like a good portion of that is like nothing but the sound of like rats skimpering and that kind of stuff. Doesn't exactly make for a great like listen, like a casual listen, which is kind of what this is being rated on. I will say that Saberwolf's theme is one of my absolute favorites to listen to in game. I actually love turning Saberwolf's theme on if I'm training and stuff, or not training, but fighting, because I do like it a lot in that context. But in this context of me just listening to a 9-minute song, it didn't really do much for me. So I'm thinking Saberwolf, unfortunately, I think you're going to go in solid. And the reasoning I'm saying solid is because there still is that context of the song is great. Like, if you're in the game, like if you're fighting someone to Saberwolf's theme, the song is fantastic. And there are still really good parts. It's just there's a lot of silence. And the ending, like your reward for waiting through the silence, isn't particularly that amazing. Like, it's good. The strings sound amazing in the song. The song's good. It's just that there's a lot of silence, and it doesn't move as much as I wish it did. In the game, it's fine because it doesn't have to. But here, just me sitting here listening to this music, it just doesn't wow me. It's fine. It's fine. It's solid. That's where I'm gonna put you, Saberwolf. I'm sorry to all the Saberwolf fans out there if you really like that song. I think it's fine, it's good, but that's where I'm gonna stick it for now. So this song has me about as on the fence as you can get, because it's a fantastic song that has a ton of movement, so much bass, lots of layering with the vocals. It's good. It's really good. And Ali Edwards is amazing. She also did vocals for Doom and of course Devil May Cry, with like Devil Trigger and stuff. I think it was like her and her sister did Devil Trigger, something like that. The thing that has me kind of pulled back a little bit is I actually don't think the chorus for this song is all that great. And the chorus is such like a big part of the song. It comes back to it so many times. But every time it comes back to it, like the first part of it, I'm just like, it's not really hitting there, It's just kind of, And I don't think it sounds bad, but I just don't really like the way it does sound. But then, you know, it gets to the back half of that, and the come around, I'll knock you down. Touch me and I'll break your face. And I'm like into it again. I'm like, let's fucking go. But every time it comes back to the beginning of that chorus, and I'm like kind of drifted out of it. But then knock you down, I'll break your face, and then we're in. I'm in. We're in it. I'm ready to go. But it's like, because of that, I kind of have to take it down. So I think Orchids would have been godlike if that chorus was just a little bit better, but I think I have to take it down. I'll put it on the other side of Glacius. So you know that it's kind of top half of Killer, you know? It's kind of like right on the verge. If it was just a little bit, like a slight adjustments there, I think I would have gone all the way with it and it would have been godlike. But right now it's just right on the verge. Like I want to like it a little more, but I don't see myself listening to it more than like some of these other themes, you know? So that's where I'm gonna have to stick it for now. Maybe I'll revisit it and change my mind or something, but for the time being, it's just like, I'm just right there on the fence. Right there on the fence. That song, man. Holy shit. They took already known character and already known music, and they just mixed it to perfection. They layered it so well. Everything melds together. This kind of mixing of genres, as you have the strings and the haunting chords and the mysterious, the like that most iconic, like when you boot up Gears of War, that is the most iconic thing that Gears of War brings. So if you boot up Gears of War in a room with someone else who has played Gears of War before, and all they hear is that they're like, oh, you playing Gears of War, dude? What's up? They know immediately. That song is just like that tone, and they use it in this song to give like a sense of mystery of like, oh my god, why is this guy here? You know, it's so badass the way they mix everything together so perfectly. I'm like almost speechless because it's just so well done that they took this game series that like I'm not even a big Gears fan. I beat 2 of them. You know, I'm way out of the loop when it comes to Gears. They just did everything so perfect with his theme and his presentation and how he's like mysterious and nostalgic in a sense. And it's so cool. It's beyond cool. And I finally get to talk about the Instinct. They incorporate the Instinct into the song. So the main theme, they actually mix it in to the song, and they use the thematics and the instruments at hand in the song to call back to the Instinct, you know, the theme that's been pretty much the same since 1994 when Killer Instinct came out. And they do it so well here. It's one of my absolute favorite usages of the Instinct here. I think without a doubt, ROM is godlike. There's no argument. Cell Dweller and Atlas Plug knocked it out of the park with that one. Like, it almost doesn't get better. Hell, that like, if I'm doing an Ultra for Mick and then an Ultra for Atlas Plug and Cell Dweller, there's a chance this could go up to Ultra. I'm gonna have to listen to the rest here before I make that decision, but holy crap. Like, what the hell were they on? The layering has me swooning. There's so many times where it's like you've got strings playing over this bassy, like just like empowering tones, and you've got these drums that are moving everything forward. It's beautiful. It is so good. It is so built for this character and the way they play and the way they're presented. It just works so well. Oh my god, it's possibly a top 5. Like, I'm just for the sake of it, I'm moving ROM to the far left side of godlike because it's the best song I've heard so far. Like, I mean, of course I've listened to these songs 1,000 times, like all these songs 1,000 times, but I haven't listened to Killer Instinct's music in a while now because I've been so Like I used to listen to these songs every day because I was a delivery driver, so I needed music to listen to. And the soundtrack was so easy to just throw on, and I would listen to each soundtrack like 3 times over, and before I was done with the day, and then call it good. So these songs are like ingrained in my brain. But every time I listen to some of them again, it's like I'm back there. Oh, I'm hearing it for the first time. And ROMs is the perfect example of that. It is so good. So unbelievably good. So Tusk's theme, it's kind of hard to put into words because like the last minute of it is super good. Like it's like the song is all build up. Like it's almost 5 minutes long, but like 4 minutes of that is like building. But the last minute doesn't really it's good. It's really good, but it doesn't like take all that momentum and just shove it into something crazy. Like it's kind of like it's moving, but it's not like insane. It doesn't really push me. A lot of it feels flat, I guess is what I would say. A lot of Tusk's theme feels kind of flat. Like it feels kind of cool in the game, but I feel like a lot of it is just like it's very simple. It's very basic. Like especially compared to like ROM's theme that we just listened to. Like ROM's theme has like 8 things layered on top of each other, all playing different things that work together and meld. Tusk's theme is a lot of like singing, guitar, drum, and it's like that's it. That's what you get for a lot of it. And then like as it goes on, it starts to incorporate like more drums, more chanting and singing and that kind of thing. But it doesn't really drive me as much as like some of the other songs. I don't think it's bad, but I do think it's a little on the lower end. And I think it goes like right under Jago.
Extreme
is probably where I would put that. Like Jago's has a bit more like oomph to it because it's a fighting game. Oh, I want to listen to this. I want to punch people. But Tusk's is more like it's almost more motivational, but not in like a take on the day motivation. It's like a you can do this motivation. Hang in there, I know it's hard to imagine like a bunch of buff Norse gods like just walking up to each other and be like, hang in there, pal. You'll get through the day. These sad times will come and these sad times will go. But our honor will always be here at our hearts. That's what I wanted. But instead it was like, hang in there, pal. Tusk is good. We're going to put it on low end of extreme. Yeah, so I feel pretty comfortable with that placement. It just doesn't have the same impact some of the other ones have, So the big thing with Rash is that like he's retro. He's retro. Like that's his whole thing is he's retro. So the song incorporates like all those classic like bit crushing and sound effects and those things so well. And there's like a cool part where it's kind of like it dodges from one side to the other, kind of like when you're in the sewer, like on the racetrack in Battletoads. The original Killer Instinct and the original Battletoads aren't all that far away, I don't think. The original Killer Instinct came out in 1994, I believe. The original Battletoads... Wait, did the game come out in 1992? No, the game came out in 1991. So these are only 3 years apart. Yeah, so it feels very retro, and it's really cool how they kind of incorporate retro Killer Instinct stuff alongside the retro Battletoads stuff and kind of mix it in. It's cool the way they use it together. The one thing I feel like is that this theme doesn't feel like it fits Rash at all as far as like his character, as far as this like goofy frog where it's like, oh man, all these crossovers are killing me. This filthy frog does not deserve a theme this epic. But it is epic. It is awesome. It is one of my favorites. I feel pretty confident saying that this theme belongs in Godlike. It's a godlike theme. Even if it's for a filthy frog, it's still one of the best themes in the game. Chief Thunder is the greatest Native American video game character of all time, and probably will be till the end of time itself, till the Earth collapses within itself. I don't think there's going to be a single character with this much love and appreciation put into it, and a song that just perfectly encapsulates that. This is passion for a type of character that is just never represented, or if they are, never represented well. But Chief Thunder is different. He's not your basic cliche. He's Chief Thunder. He is amazing, and this theme is amazing. I was genuinely holding back tears at some of these parts because the layering is so incredible as everything moves forward, and the way it feels so welcoming and historic. It's just absolutely insane, just beyond insane. I don't think there will be any representation like that will be at this level. This character's so well designed. The music is so good. The presentation's so wonderful. It's godlike. Not only godlike, it is top of godlike. There's no doubt. This character is almost the pinnacle of what I want to see from minority characters. Like that level of detail and history, and going out of your way to talk to these people and build a character that they feel represents them well. Chief Thunder is my favorite character to play as in this game. He's my top 3 overall, and his theme is absolutely a top 5. And he will be in godlike, and there's a chance that by the end of the night he will be up a tier higher in Ultra and be my number 1. Everything about this song and this character and everything is just gorgeous, and I love it so much. Kim Woo. Yeah, Kim Woo has a lot of like, yes to her, and I guess some could probably find that pretty annoying after a while. But man, I love the way it moves. I love the way this theme. The original's super good too. If you've ever listened to the original's very good. And they just kind of took the original and then just like added a ton of depth to it, where now it's the original is almost the start of the journey, and then they have this whole new add-on, and it kind of circles back around at the end, and they incorporate the instinct so well. This might be my favorite use of the instinct, because it feels very Kim Woo, but also has this awesome, almost like matrixy, techno-y like underscore to it that's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, Kim Woo's is super good. I really can't think of any complaints besides the overabundance of yeah. Oh, there's this part that's really cool that I like, where the drums get super like synthy. They're like, you know. and during that part, it has this kind of like ringing going on, where it's like ding 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 ding, and it kind of drilled into my ear a little bit. I didn't like that so much. All right, Kim Woo, I kind of have to put her in godlike, because I definitely think she's better than these themes. I think I prefer her slightly over Rash's. I know we're stacking a lot in godlike right now, but I promise you, when we get to some of these other themes, there will be more in like the killer, and I think there's at least like one song that I think is basic. Idols is hard because it's really good, but it also has the worst rendition of the instinct. Like, it's bad. Like, genuinely. It is so like it's flat, and it's not good. It's not good. I hate it. I hate it so much. But everything else is so good that I feel like it has to be a godlike track, because it's so dominating and like awesome, and it's so unique. Like, no song sounds like this on the track. I mean, Killer Instinct's already really good about very unique themes, but his feels almost extra unique. So I'm having trouble here. So one thing, I don't like that there's so many things in godlike. I am gonna move Chief Thunder up to Ultra. I am. Chief Thunder is going to go to Ultra, because I'm gonna allow 3 in Ultra. The other thing too is, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I kind of want to move Full Gore down to Killer. Like, just in the scheme of things, like, I'm like, oh, his song just doesn't feel like quite as insane in this grand scheme of things. So I think I'm gonna move Fulgore down and Idol to the back end of Godlike.
Godlike.
That feels pretty close to what I'm going for here. So Idol seems dope. The rendition of the Instinct is not my favorite. I do not like that. But he has a very unique sound, and he's like a technomancer. Like he's like this crazy, like he can summon things, and he's like magical. So like the techno feels like, oh, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't feel like the character at all. But then you listen to it and it's like, oh my god, they just went all out fucking techno and it worked. It's crazy, but it does work. It works really well, I would say. I'd say that's a good song. Arbiter's theme. So I honestly feel like I'm a bit jaded in this category now because I've been listening to a lot of Halo music, like over the last little bit, talking about Halo Infinite, and for my videos and stuff, Halo has come up a couple times. I've been listening to quite a bit of Halo music, and playing like Halo 3 and stuff. Halo has this almost tribal feel to it with the drums. Something about using like metal drums just doesn't sound right. Like when I listen to this song now, it doesn't feel like anything to do with Halo. Like it feels like if you go on YouTube and look up, someone's Halo mix, it feels like one of those. It doesn't feel like something that is true to Halo. I almost wish they hadn't gone so hard with this song because it makes it feel a little less like Halo. I'm also disappointed there isn't, like, as far as I know, there's no rendition of the Instinct in here, which I really would have liked to have heard the Instinct in a Halo type of theme. I like this song, I do, but it kind of feels a little less, like in the way the Gears of War song kind of incorporates all these Gears of War themes and in a way that feels very Gears of War. I don't feel like the Arbiter's theme mixes in that well. I'm sorry, Rhodey, my cat. I know you're a big fan of that song, but I'm just giving my honest opinion. And that it's a great song, but I don't think it works in the scope of like making the Arbiter feel like he's just melding into this universe. I actually think, because the song is still really good, I think the best spot for it is probably like bottom of Killer. It's still a good song. No, I'm gonna go top of Extreme, honestly. It just doesn't feel right now. Like listening to it and after hearing all those, it's like, it's a good song. It's good, but it doesn't really feel like Halo. It doesn't really feel like the Arbiter. It kind of feels like someone else's interpretation rather than like the authentic characters. And that is something I feel like is worth criticizing on it, is that it just doesn't meld as well into one like ROM's does, and that's kind of the, ROM came before the Arbiter. That was kind of the, I think, did ROM become the, I don't know. But either way, out of these three crossover characters, I do feel like Arbiter's is easily the weakest. It's the one I kind of never really re-listened to a lot. And I think now, after sitting down and listening to a ton of Halo music, I know why. And it's that it just doesn't really feel like authentic Halo. It doesn't have those tribal drums. It doesn't have even the core, like even the vocals feel almost like if you've ever heard Marty's like synthetic one where he just uses like a synth to play it kind of sounds like that version, which it might be a callback to that version for all I know, but it doesn't really feel like authentic Halo when it's using something like that. So I have to say that he goes a little lower, honestly, than I think I was expecting when I first started this. So that's where we're gonna put him for now. Maybe things will change, maybe I'll change my mind, but I mean, don't take it to heart. Sing Healy Boy, sing Healy Boy, I love you. You know how it is. Okay, Arya's theme. So honestly, that was the first one that kind of gave me a headache after a while. Like it's kind of like really high pitched for a lot of it. Kind of started to grate a little bit, and it kind of runs the same thing over and over and over again, with like these small breaks in between, but mostly the breaks are just ambiance. They're not really like anything different. It's just taking a break to kind of like settle down, and then goes right back to where it was. And I think it runs that course just a little too much. Of course, the rendition of the Instinct is great, although, like I said, it's a little high-pitched, and they use it a lot. Like, they use it over and over and over again. It starts to grate. Yeah, a little bit. It's a little on the repetitive side. Yeah, I feel like I have to take a break because my head kind of hurts. Let's take a look at the tier list. The theme's good. The thing is in the context of the game, the theme's fine. It's actually good. In the context of the soundtrack, me listening to it on a ride, it kind of grates after a while. It's not one I purposely choose to repeat, and it gives me a little bit of a headache. I think I'm gonna have to go bottom of Extreme. Yeah, I feel like that's probably the best spot for it's a good, like I said, just because it's an Extreme or solid doesn't mean they're bad songs. They're good. It's just that some of these songs are better fit for the game, like Saberwolf's and Aria's, than they are for the soundtrack, where they start to grate a little bit or go on a little too long or have purposeful choices that just make them hard to listen to over and over again. So. All right, Polymos Agnos' theme. It's weird because I feel like Polymos fits Tusk almost better than it fits Agnos, if that makes sense. I just feel like it feels like an army of Vikings getting ready to fight. It fits Agnos very well too, but it just, like, in my mind, I'm like, man, this would have been a way better theme for Tusk. No, I mean, way better than Tusk's theme. Yeah, Agnos' theme is super good. Like the chanting and like the singing, it's all over the top. I think it's one of the best tracks available. I don't think there's any question that this belongs in Godlike. However, I do think that, like, maybe someone should come down from Godlike then. I think I'm gonna leave Rash there for now. We'll see how things adjust as I do some more. Okay, TJ Combo's theme. I mean, what can I say that hasn't been said like a thousand times? I said earlier that, like, Spinal's theme might be the most fitting for any character in the game. Starting to reconsider, starting to lean a little more towards TJ, because it's literally like a song that not only encapsulates like the character, but I also feel like this might be the go-to song for Killer Instinct, because the lyrics are so just about like competition and retribution, and, you know, we're gonna tussle and I'm gonna show you that I'm the best. If you think you're the best, then you can step to me and I'll knock it out. Like, it's so in your face. It is I'm gonna fight. We're gonna fight right now, you and me. So it encapsulates that so well, and it's so awesome, just awesome. And the lyrics do such a good job of explaining who TJ is. Like, the whole rap really feels like it's coming from TJ, and that's awesome. You know, feels good without the implants in me. You know, like telling the story of, like, oh yeah, I used to be the top, but I cheated my way, and I realized that was shit. That was not the right way to do it. So now I'm gonna do it the real way, and you can step to me because I got something to prove. I'm on a retribution path. I am here to show everyone that I may have cheated, but I can still do it for reals. You know, it's about, I'm not gonna let anyone hold me back for my mistakes. I'm going to grow from my mistakes. I'm going to become better than my mistakes. TJ Combo is one of the best characters in this game because of that. Not even for theme or playstyle, but just the story of the character is so good. Just like why I love Chief Thunder so much. So I don't think it's any surprise at all. And also, it's a remix of his old theme, which is dope. Like, I love when they do, like, Kim Woo was another situation where they just kind of remixed the old theme, and it felt super cool. Spinals kind of feels like that in parts too. But yeah, it's awesome. It's just awesome. Like, what else can I say? I don't think you're gonna be surprised when I grab TJ right here and I move him up to Ultra and drop, because there's no doubt it's a top 3 song. Like, there's no doubt. The only real competition for me is the one I'm doing next versus one we might do later. So I might put some in Ultra and then change my mind afterwards, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Okay, Herald of Gargos, Shago's theme. I love just the concept of like, let's take the hero's song and just make it metal. Let's just make it the most badass thing we could possibly create. I absolutely love that concept. But at the same time, it doesn't ignore the character. Like, they didn't just throw that song in a heavy metal blender and all of a sudden it was what it was. No, there's actual like thought put into the pacing of the song. You have that moment of solemn, like everything is kind of brought down a pitch, you know, for just a moment. There's like almost inner turmoil, you know, displaying that Jago is still in there somewhere, you know, that same controlled monk that we listened to from the beginning is still in there. He's within, you know, under the possession of Omen. So it still displays something about the character, that this is a darker version of Jago, but Jago's not gone, he's not forgotten, he's still in there, you know, fighting, trying to get free from Omen's grasp. And the music demonstrates that so well. It's incredibly well done. And then at the very end, of course, I call it Mick's Farewell, because it's the last song on the soundtrack, and after this, Mick Gordon went on to work on Doom. So I always, in my mind, refer to it as Mick's Farewell, as a final rendition of the instinct to say, you know, farewell and goodbye. And that's all the more emotional, you know, because Killer Instinct soundtrack is such a big portion of my life, and that you know, he along with it, the farewell means a ton to me. And of course there's the thematic 99 seconds of silence, because 99 seconds is around in Killer Instinct. The 99 seconds of silence still do negatively impact the song in a way, because you have to listen to 99 seconds of silence, and it's great for the first time because it's kind of like, it kind of feels thematic, but on a re-listen, obviously you're normally going to skip the 99 seconds, and if you're driving, probably shouldn't be skipped. And most of the time I'm listening to these songs on a ride, so I would listen to the full 99 seconds of silence every time. And yeah, it's one of the reasons that I don't think that this song goes in ultra, but it's the very, very top of Godlike. Godlike. It just, there's no question that this song belongs as high as it can possibly go. But ultra is held for the holy grails, you know. It's the definitive top 3 for me. So I'm gonna keep Shago's theme just under that. I want to put it in ultra, but ultra is for the absolute best, nearly perfect. Shago's theme is absolutely incredible, one of my absolute favorites, but just barely misses that by the smallest amount. So yeah, Riptor. Riptor's already a character I feel like just about anyone would struggle with, like, writing a song for. It's just really difficult. The song feels very Jurassic Parky, like in a good way. But it's kind of like in a game where like 90% of the songs are equivalent in quality to Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This song feels like it's from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, you know? Like it's just so there, and that's about it. Like, I just don't have much to say about it. Like, it has like these jump scares and stuff kicked in. It's the shortest song. I'm pretty sure it's like the shortest song of all the music in the game. I really can't think of anything shorter. Yeah, it's like the only sub 4-minute song. I feel like Mick was really struggling with ideas for this, and reasonably so, because it's just such a hard character. I'm sorry, Riptor, but I'm going basic. Like, I just don't feel like anything with that at all. Like, I think it's probably the most uninspired song in the whole game. Just nothing. Like, I'm almost void. It's just there. Like I said, it's in a game where everything's Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. As far as soundtracks go, not gameplay. I actually really prefer Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's gameplay. So. Okay, so Conra's theme feels very like Middle Eastern, I guess. Like, I guess that's the theme they're going for, like the sands and the sands of time, that kind of stuff, which is cool. But I almost feel like it's similar to like Tusks, where like Tusk's theme is good, but the best part is like towards the end when things start coming together. Conrad's feels the same way, but it's not as simple as Tusk's. But I also don't think it's as good as Tusk's. I just don't feel like there's a whole lot to it, you know, a whole lot to the character or the theme. It also has another rendition of the Instinct, which is an okay one. It's not really high ranking for me. The more I think about it, the more I'm kind of leaning towards Conra being like solid. I don't know that I would listen to this song all the time. It's one that I kind of skip over a lot. It's got some interesting themes and the like, but I don't know. Something about it just isn't vibing with me. Its pacing is a little slow. I don't know. It's another song that, like, in the context of the game where everything's like going ham, it's a little more laid back than the others. It kind of feels like it has these deep brooding moments where it's like it makes it feel like a boss. You know, you're fighting Conrad, the final boss, like that. He's not the final boss, but it gives you feelings like that, which is cool. But I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not vibing with me. I'm not vibing. I'm not feeling the vibe. I don't like it quite as much as Tusk's or Aria's, and I don't really feel like it's on the same level as these, so I feel like it kind of has to go into solid. I don't think it's a bad song. There's just something about it that's not vibing at all. Something weird about Gargos' theme is like I don't really feel like it fits Gargos, which is funny because it's actually like completely a remix. Like it's pretty close to his original theme from KI2, but I actually prefer KI2's theme, honestly. It's got a cool rendition of the Instinct that's like hidden, like it's kind of like these high pitched, like almost like an organ kind of situation where it's like it feels very churchy, which is kind of cool. But it's like the slower sections of the song feel better fit for Gargos, and then the fast-paced sections of the song almost feel like a little uncharacteristic. You know, Gargos never struck me as like he teleports, but most of the time he's like walking with his like arms crossed, like I can take my time with this bug. You know, like there's not a whole lot of speed to Gargos's stuff. So when the drums are just like, you know, it's a little, I don't know, it just doesn't really fit quite as well as I would hope. I think Gargos, let's see, it's a good theme, but I'm not sure that it's on the same level as these three. I kind of feel a little closer to Extreme with it. Like, it kind of fits right in nicely with, like, Arbiter's theme. It kind of makes me feel similarly to Arbiter's theme, where, like, Arbiter's theme I don't think is amazing because it doesn't quite fit thematically to me. I feel this similarly with Gargos here. So I think we'll hit him in Extreme for now. You know, I really don't think I've just like chilled out and listened to that song. Wow, that genuinely felt like a song that I could see being very popular elsewhere. Like, sure, it's 8 minutes, but if you trim out like kind of the long beginning, which is probably the weakest part of the song, and maybe some of the middle sections, like I feel like you could trim the song down to like 4 minutes and it would be very popular, like in places of the world. That's actually a very, very good song. Yeah, what is this character's name? Maya. Maya. Sorry, she's so interesting. I was overloaded. Yeah, Maya's cool. She has like a cool play style, but that's like it that I really know about her. And I don't really feel like the song explained too much, or maybe really understand. It kind of just felt like a sick party song. Like, so I will kind of dock points for, I'm sure it fits the character. I don't know what they're saying, because I believe they're singing in a foreign language. Either that or I am very stupid. I feel like that kind of docks it. So I feel like I like it more than Orchids. So I'm going to go with Killer on that one. I'm going to go with Killer because I do think that's dope. I think it's a dope song, and I think it could have been like trimmed down. It could have been super popular elsewhere, which says a lot because the song's super good. And no other song really hits that vibe like that, you know? Maybe Orchid's theme, but I feel like Mira's just does it better. I just like it more. So, yeah, Mira and Killer, absolutely. Mira. Oh my, that is the most balliest blue ball of a song that I've listened to in a while. The song starts off pretty awesome and has this cool mix, but then it just never goes anywhere. It's just like what you get at the beginning is pretty much what you get the whole way through. You get a nice bit of Cammy laugh in there, where you get a nice bit of that to mix in. Then at the end of the song, the last like 30 seconds is just build up, and you're like, oh, where's it gonna go? Is it gonna be like a super fast paced remix? Is it gonna go crazy? Is it gonna be awesome? And then it ends and it's over. Like, what? You spent all that time doing that build up and you ain't gonna give me a little ding dang thing? You ain't gonna give me a little taste at all? No, the song's over. Move on, move along. So, I think it's pretty evident that I'm not the biggest fan of Mira's theme, but where do I put it? I think it has to be solid, but is it like middle solid? Because it feels very similar to Saberwolf's, but not as long. So I guess I'll go top of solid. I think I liked it a little, like the parts that are good I like a little bit more than my favorite parts from these, but it has that massive blue ball in it. Sadira's theme. The bugs in my ears that was probably one of the most unpleasant things ever. Yeah, not the biggest fan of that. Automatically, you kind of lose some points because the first minute of your song is uncomfortable, right? But the next 4 minutes are amazing. The screaming and squealing, this like unkempt overtaking of like everything. Like the song is literally screaming at you, and that's so like, and it's called the Ballet of Death. Like, it's so sick. It is awesome. If it weren't for the 1 minute of literal bugs in my ears, like it would be godlike. Absolutely. So it's in the end, I think it's probably the best. It might be the most badass song for one of the females in the game. Besides, well, we'll see. But it's insane to go from Sadira's theme, or from Mira's theme to Sadira's theme, where it's just like all in. And Sadira's theme towards the end does exactly what I kind of thought Mira's theme was going to do towards the end, was just like go in at the end and then just ended. But Sadira's theme actually goes in, it picks everything up, cuts back to the chorus kind of that you've been listening to, but now it's got some more drums added to it, and it's like, yep, this is what I wanted. That's exactly how I wanted Mira's theme to be. But you know, they didn't do that, so they did it with Sadira's theme though. So I think this song's top of killer. I think it's so close to being godlike, but it just that 1 minute of literally putting roaches inside of my ear holes, that kind of loses it a little bit. Hisako. Possibly the best original fighting game character of the last 15 years, 20 years, like possibly the greatest female fighting game character of all time. Hisako is so unbelievably cool, and they went above and beyond with this theme. Like, wow. Like the singing is creepy and like it almost drones into your head, like it's like despair, you know? This is the best use of the instinct in the game, in my opinion. Like the way they utilize the instinct when the children are singing and laughing, it's like an air of nostalgia, like it feels familiar, but just off enough to be uneasy, to be genuinely creepy. And it's so unbelievably well done. This character is so cool in every single possible way. This character is so unbelievably cool. So it's no surprise that I think her theme is
godlike.
Absolutely the best theme for a female character in this game. Absolutely, like creepy and weird and like so unorthodox, so well created. The singing is incredible. The instrumental is badass to another degree. No surprise that this might be like a top 5 theme. Shin Hisako. Okay, so Shin Hisako's theme goes about taking Hisako's theme and making it more aggressive, just because, just like how Hisako or Shin Hisako herself is like a more aggressive version of Sako with the different kinds of cancels and stances and whatever. Like, they don't really play alike. That being said, it's really hard to like take someone else's theme and not have one feel obviously better than the other one. Like Shago here and Jago are an example of that. And I do think we get a little bit of that here, but not nearly as badly. I think they did a fantastic job of making a theme that still felt unique to the character while taking inspiration from a song that's already in the game and a character that's already in the game. I feel like it's solid, and that's kind of my first listen. There's some really badass moments in there. I do feel like the song like takes longer. If that makes sense. Like, it really feels like it's longer than some of the other songs. So I think I feel pretty comfortable throwing Shin Hisako's theme up in Killer. That just feels like a really good spot for it. I don't think it's quite as good as regular Hisako's, but I feel like it's a bit better than some of the guys down here. So I like that spot, and it seems very female-oriented, this Killer row. Lots of beautiful gals on this row, especially Sadira, and the way she wants to cripple me. Wait, a little late for that. Okay. Kilgore. This is another song that I feel like suffers a bit from just feeling like it's really long. But I think it's really cool because like they jump around quite a bit. Like it feels like they're trying to tackle a lot of different stuff all at once, which is neat. I actually like that quite a bit. And I remembered as soon as I heard the start of Kilgore's theme, I was like, right, I actually remembered liking this one quite a bit. And I still do. I definitely think it's still a good theme. It almost feels experimental, which is, you know, maybe on purpose, because Kilgore is a more like experimental prototype version of Fulgore. It fits, it works, I like it. Really, it felt like I was listening to the Instinct at a certain point in the song, but it was a really weird, unique form of it. Like, they really tried to do something different with that. Not 100% sure I liked it more than some of the more simple approaches, though. I think in the end, I want to put Kilgore's at like top of Extreme. I did feel like Shin Hisako's was better. Yeah, I really don't feel like this is a song that I'd listen to quite as much as anything above it. It's cool and different, but I don't think it ranks too highly for me in a way that like I want to listen to the song all the time. So also, it's kind of funny that like all these characters get unique names to their song, like Herald of Gargos and Hinamatum, which is Chief Thunder's real name, or Shattered Idol, and then you get to these last two characters and their themes are Shin Hisako's theme, Kilgore's theme, Eagle's theme. Like, they didn't really want to do anything special for that. No. Okay, all right. Eagle's theme. For those of you that didn't really pick up on that, Eagle is Chief Thunder's brother. Chief Thunder lost his brother a long time ago, and he's been on the search to try to find his brother. Eagle is that long lost brother. What happened to him is that it seems that Ultratech took him up and threw him in the Fulgore suit, and he's Fulgore. At least that's what I believe the comics tell us. There is a lot of like emotional connection, as Chief Thunder is, you know, pretty much my favorite character in this game. There's a lot of like emotional connection to me to this character, where it's like, it's so cool to see that he's there, and you know, he has like a matching outfit with his brother, and it's like this is really neat. And there's the moment where the song kind of breaks down and it starts playing the Instinct, and it's just like, it feels so somber, it feels so sad. You know, Eagle's never going to be the warrior that he was, you know, a warrior next to his brother, you know, fighting alongside him, and the tones feel very sad in a way, and it does make me feel sad. It's nice to hear to listen to a song that just ignites this emotional kind of reaction from me. So the Instinct is fantastic. Another top tier usage of the Instinct. It does like a lot of the stuff that's really good in Thunder's theme, but just not quite to that degree. It's still very, very good. It's man, it's kind of hard, but I think in the end I am gonna say that this song qualifies as godlike. It just like it's a really good, and I haven't listened to it enough. I already feel like I want to turn it back on. And it didn't feel it's only I believe it is about 22 seconds shorter than Shin Hasako's theme, but it felt a lot shorter in a good way. It felt like that was a little more reasonable to me. Like it just felt paced better. It kind of blew, like the first 3 minutes or so blew by, and then it kind of slowed down and the somber tones kicked in, and it was just really, really well done. Was there ever any doubt at all? No. Not just here, but here. Without a doubt, the best song in the game. The best song. Not only the best song in this game, possibly the best song in any video game ever. It is everything I want. This burning passion and rage and coolness and everything just rolled into one in this just absolutely amazing 7-minute thrill ride that did not feel anywhere near 7 minutes. If that was 7 minutes, then Kilgore and Shitasaka's themes are like 15 minutes. Like, oh my god. I have to wipe tears from my eyes listening to this song. It is everything I could ever want in a fighting game song, in a video game song, everything. And it's for a character that just looks so cool to me. At every time I looked at this game, I went, that character looks so cool. I want to play him. And then he has the best theme in the game and one of my favorite video game songs of all time. I love the way at the end it's like he's literally overheating. It reminds me of weird segue, weird reference, but it reminds me of how in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there's the singing episode, and Buffy's like caving to her emotions, and the song starts to get like hotter and hotter and hotter as she's about to burn up from being in a musical, because your body can't, in the show, your body basically can't withstand that much emotion coming from singing these songs and that sort of thing and dancing. And that's what it reminds me of. It's just like this person like overheating, like everything around him is coming down because he can't control the fire that's coming. And it's so cool. It's so thematically cool. And the instinct brings tears to my eyes. Like it just feels so cool. It just feels like everything I want to be in a fighting game. Like it's the type of character that I want to be, the one that it's all eyes on you. You are the main character, the main event. Everyone wants to know what cool shit you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So here, one more time, we'll flash it up. I don't see anything that I think I would move. This is officially the official, unofficial Killer Instinct character theme tier list. So enjoy. Debate about it in the comments below. But yeah, that's it. I thought this was an interesting way to do a tier list. It took me 2 days to do because of listening to about 4 hours of music. Pretty hard to do that in one sitting without, your ears going through it. So there you go, guys. See, even when I do lazy content, I still put some effort into it. Anyways, guys, I got a lot of stuff in the works. I was kind of waiting on some more information for the next project I'm working on, and that information is out now, so I can finish working on the project I had in mind. I've got a topic about exclusives, a topic about Game Pass, of course, because I got to talk about Game Pass when I get the chance, a topic about a classic game I mentioned earlier in this year that I finally got to play. So thoughts on that. Very, very old game that I've revisited in 2020. We'll see how it holds up. I wanted to do. There's a series I've had in mind where I want to talk about some of the lesser-known studios that are around, that are still working on these projects and that sort of thing. Talk about where they come from, because everyone knows how Nintendo showed up. Everyone knows how PlayStation showed up. Well, maybe not everyone, but you know, if you're looking for these kind of topics, you probably already know. I want to talk about some of the smaller companies. So I've got a company in mind that I feel like is a great place to start and has an interesting past. I want to work on that, so that's on the mind. I've got another video about Game Pass, my year in review. We did 1 month in review back in February. I want to do a full year now, show you what my full year with Game Pass was like, and this has been a pretty good year for Game Pass. So, obviously, I still have to finish out the year, so don't expect that video till probably January. And also, I want to do a Game of the Year, Game of the Year awards. Talk about some of my favorite games this year and just chat. If you guys are kind of starved for content, because, I don't upload all that often. I work a full-time job and stuff. You can always check out Twitch, twitch.tv/Shoutsiders. That's going to be the best place to find me. I try to stream about 3 times a week. So I'd keep an eye on that. Otherwise, if you can't find me, if I'm not online, there's 2 fantastic Twitch channels. I think you both should get their limelight. We've got twitch.tv/Orion_52 and twitch.tv/Hyperreal5. Both of those guys. I know Shoutsiders isn't exactly a group project anymore. It's mostly just me, but these guys are as much Shoutsiders as Nick, as Coda, as me. So please check them out. They're fantastic individuals. But otherwise, that's all I got for you. So I'm going to try to at least have a video out once a month. If I can find the time and the research and the script writing and the editing and all that stuff, I'll try to get 2 out one of these months. But set your expectations low. I'm just one guy. There's only like 45 people subbed to me. If you like the video, share it. If you like my past videos, share it. There's also a Discord and those Twitch links and everything in the description. So check those out. But as for me, my name's Cal, and I'll see you guys around the corner.